Hey, welcome back, Rankers. How are you going? I want to talk to you more today about ChatGPT and more about why we're using it and how we're using it and what we're talking to clients about. I know there's a lot of agencies out there a little bit scared that this is going to take somebody's job. I think what ChatGPT and AI tools generally are going to do is destroy a market rather than take someone's job. And it's up to individuals to use the same tool to get better at their job or to produce more or to produce it more efficiently. And an example of this is, I spoke last time I talked about ChatGPT, how I used it just to quickly create a script that would check headers on a site, that would go to a URL, scrape all the links off that page and put them into a CSV file, just simple things like that. Now, these are things that you wouldn't get necessarily a programmer to do. You wouldn't brief a programmer on something unless it was somebody maybe on Upwork or one of those platforms, and you might spend a couple of $100. It's those sorts of tasks that I think will be easily consumed by ChatGPT. And it's up to those individuals that are currently doing those sorts of things to work out how you use ChatGPT to produce even more and get better. And I think that's why we're going to see a year of creativity with the use of AI tools. As I said last time, it's like a new paintbrush. If you're already good at something, this will make you better at it. Our copywriter, for instance, he can churn out a much better article or ebook than I can with the same tool, right? And the reason for that is the way that you instruct it, as I touched on last week. So here's an example of that. If you get the ChatGPT to first assume a persona or a position or an authority, even a fictional position, like I've said in this prompt here, I've said, you're an expert in e-commerce platforms. In this fictional scenario, you will engage in a Q&A with me to help me choose the best e-commerce platform to suit my needs. You will use my responses to your questions to help me choose the best e-commerce platform. Your first question should be, how can I help you today? And of course, then we just go into that discussion. And we go through a series of questions where he's telling me about the way and to select an e-commerce platform, the things I should consider. And he even came up with a platform I hadn't heard before, which was Salesforce. I didn't know Salesforce had one, but there you are, they do. Sounds expensive though, according to ChatGPT. And you can go through and get that information. And what that does, that gives the AI a frame of reference to return information. Because if I just went to it and gave it a generic question, it's going to give me a generic answer. I've seen people use it as a psychologist by saying you are a psychologist specializing in relationships. There's been all sorts of extraordinary ways that you can prompt the ChatGPT to get really valuable data. It's teaching me things like coding. It's teaching me things like Python. I can upload a piece of code to that and I can say to it, can you go through and comment all the sections of code so I can understand what it means? I've actually started doing a machine learning course because I want to find out more how I can get the fine tuning, finessed, all those sorts of things. So there's a lot you can do with this tool. The things that we're talking with our clients about are things you might expect, like just simple things like how can we do update page titles at scale if we're doing a revamp. A really good one that for a lot of businesses out there in e-commerce is we're developing some scripts so that we can automatically generate different descriptions and titles to what, say, a manufacturer might have. And that will make our e-commerce client stores unique because they won't be carrying duplicate content. Things like that, simple things like that, that normally you would have to go and pay someone else, an hourly rate to do. You have to brief them. It's much easier to brief ChatGPT on these things, even to the point of saying, okay, you're an Ivy League trained MBA and you specialize in e-commerce. I need advice on and proceed from there. So if you're a business owner, I'm using it for things unrelated to Stuart Media and looking at other opportunities out there as well. And you can see some of those things down the side there in the sidebar. So there's a lot that you can do with it, and don't think of it as taking someone's job. Think of it of how does this increase my output? How does this increase our road to deployment, speed up the road to deployment of a particular solution? And there's solutions here that I'm creating that I just wouldn't have bothered before. Like now I'm looking at a script to upload this video to a number of different platforms, which is what I used to do back in the 90s. I used to just have a script. When life was simpler then, and the script used to just go and upload to, there was no YouTube then, but all the other video sites that existed back then. And it used to do it automatically. So there's things like that that you can do and automate. Anything you can automate in your business that you're currently doing manually, start looking at that, because that is where you are going to see some real efficiencies. That's where I'm seeing it anyway. And also remember that this is an expert. So if you want to learn to code, you can learn to code. I think I'm allowed to say. Hopefully that won't get me censored on YouTube. Just on that point, please like, share and subscribe. Tell your friends, and I'd love to hear how you're using the tool, because we all get something else. I've only just scratched the surface on the sorts of things that we're doing at the moment. But I am talking to every client and just going through some steps with them to talk about what sort of things can we do to make your life easier using this tool. And I'm spending most of my time on Twitter now, at Jimbo, because it's the only platform that I can post and not have to worry about whether I'm going to get censored or there's going to be government oversight. Even on YouTube, I have been censored before, not for talking about anything controversial, just something that flagged the algorithm, and I don't want to say it again in case it gets censored again. And the same with LinkedIn. I've been banned from there already once, and I don't want it to happen twice. So it's easier to post things on LinkedIn. I just don't have to worry about it. And there's some fantastic AI content as well as all the SEO content from all the SEO players on Twitter still. I know some people hate the new owner. They're all billionaires. I don't know. I don't get it. But it's the only platform I can speak on where I won't get banned. Hope to see you there. Please comment, like, subscribe wherever you see this video. I'm going to start distributing a little bit more widely now because I've got the time to automate some processes to make that happen. And we will see you next week. Thanks very much. Speak soon. Bye.